Awesome. I can't wait, man. I thoroughly enjoyed season 1, so much success to you.
All right, so yeah, let's go get something to drink.
Your eyes are kind of next.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Lucky, bro. I mean, they're really lucky. We had our hands full, and our brother got caught off guard, but it belonged. Those belts were around their waist first.
Well, that's a matter of perspective. I mean, yes.
All right. Now, just announced by Mr. Joel Maximo for February, the one after the January show, but definitely in February. Get your tickets. Former WWE. All right, I am hanging out with the Invitational Champion, the one, the only Ferro. All right, guys, thank you very much for being on. I can tell. What are you carrying with you today? All right, vlog interactions in full effect. I'm hanging out with.
You get back here.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Barricade. I am your host, Papa Dank. We had a little problem with the audio over here. I don't know what happened to it, but without further ado, actually, before we start, let me plug this real quick. So over at Wrestling Is Now, they got the big event coming up, Heart Attack, coming up February 10th, right here in Queensboro, Elks Lodge. Well, famous Queensboro Elks Lodge. We're going to have Crowbar there. We're going to have Mike the Truth Jackson there, Stephen Pena, the Win World Heavyweight Champion, Joey Conway will be in action against Ace Romero. Making his debut will be Big Body Bez. That's going to be quite the show. But the day after the show, there's going to be a big seminar coming up. A Gabe Sapolsky seminar and scouting tryout hosted by the workshop at NYWC. At NYC, the Win tryout with Gabe Sapolsky. So make sure you go to Wrestling Is Now to get more information. I know that spots are limited, so make sure you go to Wrestling Is Now for that, please. And without further ado, let me bring to you my very special guest, the EPW World Heavyweight Champion, the one and only Jason Genesis. How are you?
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me on. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, man, I'm excited that you're on, man. I had a little glitch with my intro. I don't know what was going on. Yikes. Well, anyway, I'm very excited to have you on. Let's start off with some events you got going on.
Right on.
You have Premier Pro Wrestling, Bradford Ball League fundraiser, Saturday, January 27th.
Yes,
it's going to be a good thing, man.
AJ Kazana at that one, the big country boy right there. So, like I said recently, I already got my ice bath prepared for that one. I know he's a big, strong boy from the NWA. And it's going to be a rough.
Yeah, man. He told me he's got the biggest biceps going around.
Yeah, I believe it.
Oh, man. Oh, good luck with that match, sir. And then you have this match. You are facing Orion on January 19th.
Yes, that one's coming up sooner. That will be this coming Friday in Dyer. And Orion he's a top competitor from OVW. He just recently challenged for the OVW Heavyweight Championship. Just got done watching that match, scouting my opponent. So ready for that one coming up this weekend as well, for sure.
Awesome. And then you open up your own school as well.
Yes. I hesitate to use the word school. I like to use the word dojo, because what I kind of like about it is the people who are joining the House of Genesis dojo, they follow me around. They kind of can train wherever I go. And so then they get input and knowledge from different people. So it's kind of like it's a mobile school. And that's something different about that. And what I like about it is it lets guys kind of network with whatever promotions they're closest to, which has the people that they click with. And it's kind of a different idea. I really like it. And it's off to a really good start.
Awesome. All right, let's start off with, I heard that this is not everybody's favorite question to ask, but since it's my first time with you, I'm going to ask you.
All right.
How did you fall in love with professional wrestling?
Well, man, like a lot of us, when I was just a kid, it was like real life superheroes on TV when it was, it was still real to me. And remember watching it with my brother, who I grew up with, and just fell in love with the characters and with the action, everything combined. And the first things I remember were like the NWO. I didn't know of like yellow and red Hulk Hogan. I just knew of bad guy Hulk Hogan. I hated him so much. And so like when Sting was coming back, like I never even saw Sting wrestle before that, but he was like my guy. Like I couldn't wait for it. I was so hooked. And
Nice.
those are some of my most fond early memories for sure.
What are your thoughts on Sting retiring in a few short months?
Yeah, that's I mean, it's crazy that he's still doing it, and it's like if he would have wrestled today, he probably would have had a much shorter career with all the crazy stuff he's been doing at his age, especially.
Right.
but yeah, no, it's I definitely want to catch that one for sure. It's going to be an emotional one.
Awesome. All right, you have a question from a fan, Daniel Lopez. Since you're having a school, is there any talk about putting on your own show?
No, I don't think promoting is my bag. I don't think that's for me. I would be interested in booking someday and working with a promoter. And I'm working with a lot of promoters right now with the school and the dojo that are being gracious enough to let me host my training sessions and all that. I don't think promoting is for me.
Okay. All right. Maybe you'll change your mind one day.
Yeah, I mean, if you just check my track record, promotion is like the weakest point of my wrestling game for sure. I'm not a good self promoter. I forgot that we were doing this podcast. I just put it on like I'm doing a podcast right now. I did that like right as I was logging in.
All right. That happens, man. We get busy. We get busy, man. We get busy. You know. I sometimes forget to put on my socks sometimes when I go to work. I'm like rushing to get out, so I'm like, oh shit, yikes, that's not a good deal. All right, let's go into where did you go train? Who were your trainers, and what were your thoughts during that initial training?
Oof. So that's one of the reasons why hopefully with my school, all I really have in it is like my reputation. It's I'm doing it very cheaply. I'm not making a whole lot of money for it. Not for the amount of bumps that I'm taking, because I'm like really in there with the guys in the trenches, taking all the bumps with the guys and making sure they do it safely. And so I kind of skipping talking about my school, I guess, but I hope that it has a reputation with it, because my training, I hated that question so long for my first 2 years, because my training I'm very much self-taught. And I had my first guy that helped me out was a guy named Chris Hensley, who really gave me my fundamentals and taught me how to be safe and how to lock up and do all my basic chain and things like that. But other than that, I was lucky enough to have a guy, a man named Mr. Grady Watson. He runs Middleton Independent Pro Wrestling out of Middleton, Tennessee. And he would just leave the key under the mat for me. And me and another guy came in. We just broke in together, and we just heard each other a lot, figuring it out. And eventually time came for us, and they called on us. They said it was time for y'all to debut, and that's kind of how it was. I really, most of my training was mostly with him, just beating each other up, figuring it out the hard way, and cleaning up the building, announcing, reffing, whatever I needed to do, pay dues along the way.
Awesome. All right, tell me about your first professional wrestling match in front of a crowd. Who was your opponent, and what was it like during that first match for you?
All right, so the guy I said I broke in with, his name was Travis Wolf. He's not currently wrestling. He had some injuries and stuff along the way, but he was a guy I am very indebted to get broken into the business, because he had the connection with Chris Hensley, who helped us with our basics and our fundamentals. Mm-hmm. But we were a tag team at the time. We were called what was our even name? It was so short lived. It was such a short thing. Just drew blank on it. But we just pretty generic stuff. We had like just like slashes on our gear and stuff like that. Just kind of white meat baby face coming out with energy and doing that kind of thing. And we were wrestling against a team called The Stray, Cody Dean and Corey Mercer. And I was very lucky to have those guys to help break us in with our first matches.
Awesome. All right. If you could choose any independent wrestler you could have a match with that you haven't had a match with yet, who would it be and why?
Any independent wrestler.
Any independent
wrestler. Man, I have to go with Blake Christian.
Okay. Why would you want to have a match with Blake?
Yeah, because he's originally a local guy from where I'm at. He was kind of the last big guy that kind of broke out of our area, and he's a big name around here. So I think it would draw in my area, because I admit I'm kind of a homebody. I don't travel a lot and kind of stay in my vicinity. So I think a match between he and I would draw in my area, and it would be really great to work with him. I remember seeing him, getting to train with him one time right as COVID was ending, and that was before kind of his career took off, before he made it to NXT for a while and had his he's wrestled everybody from John Moxley on down to now.
Wow.
So he's really made a name for himself. So
Right.
I know I'd learn a lot wrestling him and just getting a chance to get to know him better and clicking with him, being from the same area.
Okay. All right. Since you say you like to be a homebody around, so do you have any plans to eventually like branch yourself out to other states, stuff like that?
Yeah,
Or maybe other.
that's where I'm a little different. I really don't. I did for a long time, but I mean, I just kind of got to a point in my life, and I got my mortgage, my family, and my career, like the shoot career and stuff like that. I'm happy to be kind of like at the top of where I'm at in the area, and so that's kind of where I'm at in life now. So it's good to kind of accept that, because then you kind of have a lot more power with promoters a little bit too.
Okay. All right. Let's jump out of wrestling real quick. Tell me about a hobby you have that's not wrestling related, and why do you enjoy this hobby so much?
Well, let's go with music, because I played guitar very seriously. I did music for a decade before I got into wrestling. So I was able to equate a lot of what I learned about music producing as far as writing a song. It's equating it to putting it together a match. I kind of, it clicks in my brain in that way, a lot of ways, as far as telling a story. And then also as far as like presentation, like that was something that really helped me when I started off. I understood how important it was to have a professional look, because I'd been doing that already with my band. And so then I came off the bat and I had like professional promo pictures. Like I was getting looked at by companies that were too big for where I trained at and where I started off right off the bat, just because I had, a good professional look. Like, so it just kind of piqued some people's interests. And that's really what helped my career take off from where my humble beginnings were.
Okay. What about your favorite food? What's your favorite food to go to eat?
Man, I let's go with Mexican. I love Mexican. You get your protein.
Good stuff, right?
Yeah, you get your protein with your chicken, and you get your carbs with your rice. You get your fat with your queso, and you're good to go.
So I say, good to go, man. All right, let's go into favorite match you've had so far. Why was it your favorite, and who was your opponent?
See, I got a few there, and they go in different ways depending on the name of the person. Davey Richards is one that comes to mind. I'm a huge fan of him, big name in ROH and traveled the world. And I love his style and the way he wrestles and the way he works. And I learned a lot wrestling him as far as how to be intense and how to carry yourselves and some of the in-betweens. And so that one was a really insightful match for me.
Right.
One of my personal ones would be, I can tell you, episode 106 on EPW Wrestling. You can find it on YouTube or on the Roku channel. That would be the match. I just recently lost the title to Marco Harris. And he's one you definitely need on your podcast as far as someone that needs to reach out. He is the rising star from this area.
Awesome. Serena, take notes.
Yeah, for sure. He's one you need on here. He's more ambitious than I am. He needs to get up to everywhere. And he's got the skills to do so.
Okay, all right. Tell me about, since I just had him on, tell me about some paths you've crossed with Justin Klein, who was just on the other day.
Yeah, well, we've usually stood on the same side of the fence on most issues in our professional wrestling world, so we haven't really had any, disagreements within public eyes or private eyes. I get along with him pretty well.
A lot of people don't like him.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. I can't really say. He gives me the respect I deserve. I'm the longest reigning, most dominating EPW heavyweight champion of all time, and so I've been running the same yard that he's been running in for a long time, and he respects that. So he and I haven't had any issues as of yet.
Gotcha. Tell him Papa Denk says hello when you see him.
Will do.
All right, we got a question for you. Hold on. Who's the one person that you're like, I gotta wrestle that person?
Let's say locally, like I said, I think in that way, Toby Farley, he is a real well indie name in this area and beyond. And he's one who I used to cross paths with all the time because we worked together at USA Wrestling that was run by Burt Prentice, who's a well-known promoter that passed away just a couple years ago. And but I wasn't ready for that match yet, and so I'm kind of glad that I didn't get it then. But now I definitely am. and that's one I've been kind of waiting on. I just hadn't had a chance to because he's kind of on East Tennessee and I live in West Tennessee, and we're in a long state, so I haven't had a chance to try to make it happen.
All right. Did you ever go see Iron Claw? I want to get your thoughts on the movie.
Iron Claw, I have not yet. I don't, being a wrestler, my Fridays and Saturdays are usually pretty booked.
Family night.
Yeah, and then so other than that, with my shoot job and some other things I'm going on, I don't have a lot of time during the night to go do that. I will probably watch it when it comes out on like a streaming service. But I haven't made it checked it out yet. I do know that I'm disappointed at how much MJF they cut out.
I know. I heard they cut out a lot of them.
Yeah,
he was there for like a second. That's it. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that was a selling point for me. So
I hear you.
I might have went to theaters if he had a bigger part.
Maybe he'll do other acting roles. You never know.
He ought to. He's definitely got the talent for it.
I believe that's in is one of his goals to act in films and stuff. So
yeah, I believe so.
All right, let's go into match you want to be in that you haven't been in yet. And
like a type of match?
Yeah, type of match.
I've never done a ladder match. I haven't really. I'm not known for my crazy matches. I'm kind of a standard singles guy. It's kind of my niche. I like telling the stories in that way. I'm not a big fan of deathmatch wrestling and stuff like that. But ladder would be. That's something I'm interested in, the challenge of telling the story within the match and putting it together that way. That'd probably be a ladder match.
Okay, awesome. Hello, Herb, sir. How are you today?
Hey, it's Herb. I haven't seen Herb in a long time. How you doing, sir?
So we know we have a friend in common, Herb Simmons.
Yeah. He used to, once again, I mentioned Bert just a little bit ago, and he and Bert used to work together a lot and run some big shows together.
Yes, I want to bring up his, if I can find the freaking flyer. Here we go. FanFest 2 coming up. Wrestling at the Chase, SICW, May 18th. Let's give a plug out to Herb. He's got a lot of great talent coming.
Yeah. Herb always puts on great shows. Look at all those people. Wow.
I know. I told him I might have to make a trip and go see him.
Yeah, it looks like it'd be worth it for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be great to see him in person. Having him on the podcast and talking to him on the phone and all that stuff is great. But it's nothing like meeting someone in person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I would like to catch up with Herb sometime. It's been a long time. He liked my gimmick I had at the time. We were in a tag team at the time, and I've grown up a lot since then. I wonder how much he's kept up with me.
Herb, no, thank you, sir, for what you do for wrestling. Appreciate you. All right, let's go into, if you can go to one federation, which federation would you go to that would fit your style?
I think WWE would. I'm going to go ahead and go with the big one. I definitely would. In an alternate universe, I hope that there's Jason Genesis at WrestleMania.
That would be cool.
That's definitely, as every wrestler's dream at one point. Like I said, I've kind of grown up to a point where I'm accepted being a big fish in a small pond, so to speak. And but I definitely hope there is a universe out there where Jason Genesis is holding up the Universal title for sure.
All right, now I don't know who Herb wants to give him a call, me or you.
I see you, Herb. I see you.
I guess it's to be
I appreciate it.
determined.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, man. I don't even know if I have Herb's number anymore. It was like almost a year ago, really.
It's been probably 3 for me.
Herb, send me your number, please, sir. I will definitely call you. I got some questions for you. All right. So, don't put it in the chat, Herb. Everybody can see it. You can have people call you from all over the United States or something. Oh, man, Herb, we love you, brother. We love you.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we put our phone numbers here? Everybody would be calling us. He says they do not.
Yeah.
They call him anyway.
There's plenty of indie guys that want it.
I'm sure there is. Every time I tell someone, what Herb has done for the business, they're like, really? I got to talk to him. Oh man, he's got the freaking put on do not disturb, man. I know AJ's like, yo, Herb, I gotta go to FanFest, Herb. I gotta go to FanFest. Oh my gosh. Funny stuff, funny stuff. All right. So what do you think in 2024 is gonna look like for you?
2024, man, my school is my top priority, my dojo. I'm trying to get the vernacular right. I got a little bit of heat within the industry because I'm pretty young in the business, but so I don't like calling it a school because I don't think I can get anybody to WWE or AEW or anything like that. But I think I can get people onto the local scene, and that is my big goal right now. Really kind of get a new wave of talent, guys that work in a different way. Because we here in the South, there's definitely a certain style of a way of working. A lot of the guys that work it, have that Memphis style and that more call it in the ring improvisational style, which is definitely very important. And there's not really anyone around that's teaching more like calling the spots and stuff. And everyone I've ever worked with that works on TV, and whether it be a TNA guy or the NWA guy, they all say that the matches are a little bit more planned out. You got to know how to keep it in that way, and I like to work. Right. My most fun matches are house show matches because I like to have so much things planned out, but then definitely have to work things out on the fly and things like that. So I'm trying to teach more kind of that style within in a region that is very like an old school mindset. And okay. So I think it's something different that I'm working on. What's up, Perky?
Perky says, Jason. Hello, yeah, Perky. Welcome.
Perky's on board with me. He's at most of the training sessions, keeping another eye on things for me.
Okay, so he's helping you run the dojo?
Yeah, a little bit here and there. Definitely. He's helping with some paperwork for sure.
Is there anybody's path you crossed in the past that now is on either AEW or WWE, and you said at the time, hey man, that guy's gonna be someone, or that person's gonna be someone?
I mentioned Blake before. Blake was the one. He was just working at USA and traveling around, and I met him originally right after COVID, and he's definitely had some NXT experience and success, and then he went on to doing some big stuff in AEW and ROH as well. So that was one for sure, man. Marco Harris, he's the one right now. I can't put him over enough. He's 20 years old, and he's killing it in the area, and he just got a huge, bright future. He's the one that I see on the most. And I trained him myself, so I am biased, but anyone that's area will tell you.
We got to bring Marco. We got to bring Marco on now.
Yeah, for sure. I'm surprised he didn't come up with Klein.
He did.
Yeah, he
came up with Klein, yeah.
He's put a hurting on his boy Brandon plenty of times.
Hold on. Marco's name has been out there a lot, and Marco to the moon and beyond for sure. I think he beat up poor Brandon.
Yeah, on more than one occasion. I'm sure the win-loss record is pretty staggering in Marco's favor on that one.
I want to thank everybody joining us on Instagram. I just want a quick shout out to everybody joining us on Instagram. We can't, for whatever reason, the StreamYard hasn't linked up with them, so even if they commented, we won't see it here. So I kind of go back and forth to see who's on. If they got any questions? All right. How about a match with Justin? Would you consider having a match with Justin?
Like I say, our plans, we haven't had any disagreements lately, but I haven't wrestled Brandon in a singles match either. And that would be something interesting. We had some tag competition a couple years ago, but we've both grown a lot since then. So a singles match is long overdue. Like I said, we're usually on the same side of the fence, but it hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
As far as Justin, if I were in a match with Justin, we'd probably be getting embarrassed that evening. I gotta feel it.
He's gonna send me a nasty message. I know. Like, what are you doing, Dank? Listen, man, I'm trying to, help you out a little bit. I mean, he's too busy going on his yacht, so.
Yeah, he's a hard man to get a hold of.
He's a hard man to get a hold of. It wasn't easy getting him on the podcast. That's for sure.
We're lucky to get him once a month in Mississippi.
All right. Let's see. Let us go to Indie Federation. I'm sure there's an Indie Federation that you haven't been in yet. which indie federation would you like to go to and why?
Indie Federation. I mean, I definitely like to branch out, like a TNA, especially when they were based out of Nashville. That one's actually pretty close to me, or an MLW, one of those levels. Anywhere that I can go, that I can get an interesting match that I can learn from. That's kind of my biggest passion within wrestling, and just kind of getting as good as I can and getting a chance to work with guys that can teach me to be better at my craft.
All right. If you can give one message to your future students once they get in there, what would that message be?
For the first match, man, that's a tough
just
one.
in general, wrestling in general.
Some
people have told me just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. Just to commit to what you're doing, no matter what it is, whatever the character is, like depending on how you were broken in. If like there's a guy at EPW, his name's Wonder Boy, and he is so committed to what he's doing, and he's getting over with it so well. He and I are having some problems on our TV right now, and he's quite the character. It gets the crowd with him, and he's doing a really good job with it. But he's doing a great job because he's so committed. I had his first ever TV match with him, and he's definitely getting the crowd behind him. So I'm proud of him for that.
Okay,
and it's through his commitment.
Now, this question in the chat is it's got to be to you. It's from Justin. What did he say?
No, Dink started it. He was asking if I wanted to have a match with you. I've been saying that we have not been having any disagreements up to this point. We're on the same side of the fence on most issues.
I don't think he's going to invite me onto the yacht anymore.
No, you might have lost your invitation. Though.
I might have lost my invitation on the yacht, man. Hey, Justin, man, I want to help you out and give you, some more experience in matches because you say you're just a manager. I think you can be more than that, Justin. I see potential in you. He's definitely going to kill
won his match on EPW television. Standing tall. The photos are going around.
He said, wait till I rewind this. Yeah, did you see that? Those dollar, look at the picture. He's wearing like these dollar pants or something. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah. He
said that was a dominant
performance. He said those were hand sewn. Those are real dollars.
Those are real dollars hand sewn. Who sewed them on? Brandon? Oh, I'm so dead, man. He's gonna kill me. All right, Jason. Thank you for coming on the podcast, man. It's been a lot of fun talking to you, and you definitely got to come back, man.
Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, would love to. Would love to. I'll definitely be checking out when y'all have Marco on.
We're definitely gonna get him on. Tell everybody where they can follow you.
Facebook is my main thing. Like I said, I'm not a great businessman or self-promoter or anything. Jason Genesis on Facebook. Find the one holding the title belts. And if anyone in the area interested in joining the dojo, just DM me on that. That's the best way to do it. And see if we can break you into the wrestling business if that's your passion and your calling.
The House of Genesis. Look at this comment. Well, that was the dominant performance. Those were Benjamins, not the singles you pick up from your team. What singles? What is he talking about? Pick up no singles at no tables. Although I could use some gas money for some of the shows I go to. So, all right, let me give a shout out to a couple of promotions, a couple of things I got going on. I want to give a shout out to Titan Championship Wrestling for letting me come and hang out with them this past weekend. As a result of that, my newest blog will be coming out this week. Thanks soon, as I am hanging out here with Amity LeVay, and that after credit scene with her is going to leave you shrieking. You're going to have to stay tuned and find out why. As you can see, look at my face. That was great, man. I also want to give a shout out to my family and my friends at Wrestling Is Now, as we got Heart Attack coming up on February 10th. And it's going to be a great, great show. We got Big Body Bez, Crowbar, the Slime Balls, who are now in the NWA as well, Joey Conway, Ace Romero, Johnny Cashmere, new backseat. Mike the Truth Jackson. He knocked out CM Punk, for goodness sake. And like I said before, Big Body Bez, man, he's making his wrestling debut, man. He's a rapper. He's a recording artist. He's a rapper, and he's wrestling. Everybody wants to wrestle, Jason.
Yeah. Well, Bad Bunny did a good job, so see if he can follow in his footsteps.
That's right. Not me. I'm too old for that stuff. Oh, here we go. Jason, we may not have had run. Let's hope that doesn't change this weekend at Corinth Con.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, that's something I was going to definitely shout out before we got off here.
Serena says, good luck at Premiere this weekend. I also want to give a shout out, and I know I messed this up because I was like a little thrown up earlier, but the Gabe Sapolsky Seminar and Scouting Tryout hosted by the Workshop NYC for Wrestling is Now. Q&A session, in-ring matches, extensive lectures, Sunday, February 11th. The price is only $99. I think that's a bargain. It begins at noon. It is open to wrestlers, referees, and announcers. You can register via PayPal, theshopwrestling@gmail.com. I want to get that right for them.
With Gabe Sapolsky, that is a bargain. That's a direct line to the WWE.
That's right, man. Everybody, that's huge, man. If you're in the New York Northeast area, this is not something you want to miss. Also want to give a shout out because coming up for SWA's Double Trouble on March 8th. Come down to SWA at the NYWC Sportatorium. For more information, go to SWA Wrestling on Facebook or use that QR code and get your tickets. A lot of stuff going on, man.
Yeah. The world of wrestling is always crazy.
Always. I can't forget this plug as well. The King of New York from Victory Pro Wrestling. Gabby Forza is making her debut. Jay George is making his debut. It's gonna be fantastic, man. A lot of great matches. That 6-man tag is happening between Bobby Orlando, Bryce Donovan, Steven Azza versus Dante Drago, Jack Tomlinson, Nick Robles, the Delta House. It's gonna be crazy, man. Crazy. And speaking of schools or dojos, give a shout out to my friends, the SATs and PJ Savage, the Maximos. They got the workshop where they're having that big tryout. If you want to be a professional wrestler and you are in Queens area, the city, wherever, train and learn by the Maximos and PJ Savage, man. Trust me, those guys, they're legendary, world famous. Make sure you check them out. Wrestling is Now is all your information for everything SAT, Maximos, and PJ Savage. Check them out, please. Check out Titan Championship Wrestling. They're a great promotion as well. Justin can't give it up. Look, I imagine Zero will make quick word of the SoundCloud rap. Yikes. All right, Justin, you're going to get me in trouble. Wrestling is Now, man. Instagram. See everybody later. I want to thank my pal, All-in-One Michael Faye. Don't worry, I'm bringing you back on the podcast, brother. You'll be coming on. Sebi and more. We're going to have you on this too. Kevin Fulton, Cape Fresh. Welcome, sir. We will have you on as well. Everybody, goodbye on Instagram land. Everybody else, I will see you back this coming Thursday, actually, because I got to work on my shoot job. Yikes. But anyway, this Thursday at 6 o'clock, I have Ocean Avery. We had to reschedule. I had a family thing. He's coming back. Victor Crowley. Oh, Jackson Crowley as well. You probably know him.
I do.
He's coming on this Friday at 9 o'clock. Jackson Crowley. I mean, kind of creepy over there, but I guess we'll find out more about him on the podcast. And my good pal, the Comic Book Warriors, coming back Thursday at 9 o'clock. That's my brother, Gabe Baez. He's coming back. He's got some stuff he wants to promote. And I got to get Justin out of here. Yikes. Everybody have a good night.